What's going on, Internet? Nerdlocker.com here, and we've got this week's comic book reviews for you. I'm starting off with the Superior Spider-Man #4, and I am just almost out of patience with this book. I just don't like how it's a completely different character. At the end of, Peter Parker and Doc Ock's exchange, Peter Parker and they have this understanding, him and Doc Ock, where Doc Ock's going to be the best Spider-Man he can be, and he's going to, let everyone think that Spider-Man's a great hero, and he's going to live up to that name, and he's just not doing it. And he's kind of being a douche, and he just is alienating Peter in his own life. He just wants to be this great professor again because he's young, or this great doctor and genius, and he's still pissed that all the credit's going to Peter Parker. And I also really don't like the sort of exchange between J. Jonah Jameson and Peter Parker, that it's now this like Batman Detective Gordon or Commissioner Gordon relationship where he's calling him in to check out crime scenes, and it's getting really weird. But I will say the very last page of this book throws in just a little glimmer of hope for me. I'd like to see, first of all, how it's explained, because the last time we saw this character, he was not in good shape, and I thought in prison. So I don't know. I'm going to see how this plays out, but man, it is just getting harder and harder to read this book every week. I'm giving it 2.5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. Let me know what you guys think.
Hey there, nerds. Jim here with my review of Justice League #17, the capper to the Throne of Atlantis. And man, oh man, was it awesome. I loved this whole storyline as it went back and forth between Aquaman and Justice League. I really wish this had been the storyline that relaunched Justice League, because it was so solid. I understand they couldn't. I actually enjoyed Justice League #1, but this whole story was so solid. I'm not giving away anything. I recommend you read it. I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
Hey guys, this is Haley, and I have a review of the Avengers #6, and this book is really a lot of build-up. It's just build-up, 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 and you finally get this awesome reveal on the last page. I don't even want to get into it, just this last page. I don't even know where this story's going to go from here, and I'm really excited about that. So definitely pick up this book. I'm going to give it 4 Nerd Skulls.
So I got to read Alpha Big Time #1 this week, written by Joshua Fialkove and artwork by Nuno Plati. Big surprise by Plati for me. I opened up the pages not knowing what to expect and was pleasantly surprised. It's very much like Mike Allred without Laura Allred as the colorist. It's very exaggerated faces, very extravagant hair that's all over the place. I actually thought it was a lot of fun, and the story wasn't all that bad either. Fialkove is amazing, so I'm going to suggest this book highly. I'll give it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Next up, I got Green Lantern 17, Wrath of the First Lantern. I guess the last story arc that Jeff Johns will be on, which makes me incredibly sad, but I'm stoked for this. We finally see where Simon Baz is playing into everything with Hal Jordan and Sinestro, and he's going to rescue them. You really get to see a lot more of the First Lantern, sort of where he comes from. I hope there's more explanation in the next issue, and I'm sure by the end we'll know all about him. But yeah, this book is still awesome. Beautiful artwork, great writing. I can't wait to see where this goes, and I'm sure just issue 20 is going to be just this spectacular ending. But yeah, I'm loving this. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
3, 2.
Hey guys, I also got to read Nova #1 this week, and this one is about a new Nova who it kind of intertwines 2 stories about this kid who's in high school, and also the stories that his father tells about when he was a Nova, but of course in a very high school fashion. The kid doesn't believe the stories that his father used to tell, but it all just really works together really well. And again, Marvel's doing a really good job at building up to a great last page, and this page is also really exciting. So I'm gonna give this book 4 Nerd Skulls. Check it out.
So I got to read Justice League of America #1, the new #1 title from Jeff Johns and David Finch. I was excited to see the Johns title on the cover, so I jumped in knowing that it was going to be good, and it was not a letdown. It takes 3 characters I really care a lot about, like Martian Manhunter, Catwoman, and the new Green Lantern, and mixes them with characters I don't really know much about, like Stargirl and the new Vibe character, or the old Vibe character, I should say. But he did it in a very good way. It makes me interested, and I want to know more about these characters, so I'm going to give JLA some more reads. I'm going to probably read a couple issues before I decide whether I'm going to add it to my list or not, but either way, the artwork was fantastic, the storytelling was good. I'm going to give Justice League of America 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
All right, next up I got Green Lantern Corps 17, part 2 of The Wrath of the First Lantern. Make sure you read Green Lantern before you read this, because I was a little confused. I jumped right into Corps without reading Green Lantern. A little confusing, so I definitely suggest reading part 1 and then part 2. And this one is just a torturous issue for Guy Gardner. He's just getting picked apart by the First Lantern and feeding off of all of his emotions, and he's taking big moments in Guy's life and changing them up to be more tragic and worse. So he's getting more from Guy, just taking more from him, and honestly it's kind of depressing to watch Guy Gardner go through all this. I mean, he loses his ring, now this is happening, and it is interesting. I like to see what the plans are with Guy and how he's going to play into this whole story. But I would definitely suggest picking this up. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
I read the My Little Pony micro series, and this one was about Twilight Sparkle, who is not my favorite character, and I still enjoyed the book, so I think that says something about it. In this issue, Twilight Sparkle is sent by Princess Celestia to help the injured librarian, and she's just the stereotypical cranky old lady, and they kind of bond over books and reading, and it's a fun little story. I'm excited for the other characters over Twilight Sparkle, but I'm still going to give it 4 Nerd Skulls.
So this week I got to read a new #1 from IDW, Vitriol the Hunter. A very interesting book about vampires. I want to say it was pretty much a perfect mix between Underworld and Blade. While the story is probably stale to some of you people, I want to say that the artwork really made it for me. Brent Allen did a really good job with this. It reminds me a lot of Ramos's work and stuff like that, but it was really good, and it made it fun. It made the darker characters even darker. It made the other characters even more fun to watch. So I'm going to give this book 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
I got a chance to read Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #19. I can't tell you enough how much I'm loving this book. I really thought this was one I'd maybe read the first story arc. It'd be kind of a big deal, and then it would just fade out, but I'm still loving every issue of this book. We're getting to see more of Krang again and what his plans are, and you're just seeing more of these characters unfold and develop, and it's really cool, really awesome. I'm going to give this 3.5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey guys, I got to read Adventure Time #13, and this one is about punching up robots, so it's an awesome issue once again. It's about BMO getting a virus, and then he's taken over by someone else who starts taking over all of the computers, so they have to hack and get into the virtual reality that it is, and it's awesome and it's fun as always. And then there's 2 other side stories that both actually have to do with Adventure Time, which is awesome. One of which, someone who is not a princess becomes a princess, and you might be surprised by who it is. So I'm gonna give this book 4.5 Nerd Skulls.
Locke Key Omega #3 came out this week, so I was excited to rip open these pages, and it was not a letdown. This is by far the best Locke Key book that's ever came out. It was filled with so much storyline, I can't even explain it, but we see a lot of different characters fall and rise in different ways. Nina, the mother, she is kind of put into a drunken stupor, but not of her own accord. She doesn't do it this time, but nobody believes her, so because she's just looked at as a drunk mom. Kinsey goes to her dance and then finds her mom drunk on the floor, so that's very upsetting for her. Bode is still in this like mixed world right now. He's a ghost, and he's trying to get back in the real world, And Tyler is just kind of trying to figure out everything that's going on in his life before he turns 18. And I know that this book is going to end where he turns 18 and he realizes that, or he forgets all magic. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, this book is insane, and you have to read this. This is number 3 out of 5, and this is the last arc of the storyline. So you need to go back and pick up every single one of these issues because they're all good. I'm going to give Locke Key Omega number 3 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
I got to read Black Beetle number 2 of 4. And this is still so awesome. This is just a really classic noir book. We get to see a lot more of his gadgets in this, the Black Beetle's gadgets, which is really cool. He's stumbling upon some clues that is definitely, developing the story. And it's this issue ends with him kind of taking a alternate route to what you saw in the first 2 issues of how he's going about getting his information, which is cool. Like I said, it's a really just awesome noir-based story, and it's playing on all those elements. I love those type of stories. I've always loved those movies and books, and this is just, I can't say enough good things about this. I'm giving this 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.